Bomber with us now. Marik von Rennenkampff wrote a piece on The Hill looking at the congressional response to these UAP claims. Look, we all sort of love these concepts that there's something out there, and the idea that our government could hold secrets for 60 or 70 years, and that there's men in black who can zap you, and the general public forgets things. At what point do we say, either show us the evidence or we're done with this?
It's a good question, and Leland, thanks for having me. You're hit the nail on the head. We do need to see evidence, you're right, but I think we need to keep in mind that we are dealing with extremely sensitive information. And as Senator Rubio said, and as Joe reported, these individuals that have come forward to the Senate Intelligence Committee fear for their lives. I think that's something that has not been drilled down on and looked into enough. They fear for their clearances. They fear for their jobs. So again, just to reiterate, we're dealing with very, very extremely sensitive information. If in fact these so-called or these alleged programs were in fact legally withheld from Congress, which is the allegation, we're dealing with a very, very legally tricky area, and again, a very sensitive information.
For sure, and there's laws in terms of who in Congress actually gets to know. Is it that just the chairman of the Intelligence Committee? Is it the chairman and the ranking member, the Gang of Eight, so-called, if you add in the speaker and the minority and majority leaders, on and on and on. But I keep coming back to this concept that the U.S. government just isn't that good at keeping secrets. I mean, think about all of the very secret programs that have come up, and we're to believe that over 60 years, this one program that has helicopters all over the country ready to respond at a moment's notice and pick up the little green men in their crashed spacecraft and whisk them away in a way that no one ever takes video or phone, videos of, and no one's ever seen, and they land in bases that nobody ever talks about. Again, like, where is the line between, you can't prove a negative, and we have to keep investigating?
It's a good point, Leland. When we spoke last, I was in the government previously, and I agree with you. I have a very hard time. I had a very hard time until digging into this story, believing that something like that could be kept secret. But there are indications that I might be eating some humble pie, because if you look at the totality of this story, there's some compelling indications that this whistleblower is correct, and I'll lay out a few. The Intelligence Community Inspector General, that's basically the top internal cop who ensures that conducts oversight and ensures that the 17 or 18 agencies within the intelligence community are operating legally and properly, found this whistleblower's claims to be credible and urgent. There's also reporting that additional individuals that actually worked on these surreptitious illegal programs briefed and testified under oath to the Intelligence Community Inspector General to corroborate Mr. Grush's claims. So that in and itself is a pretty compelling data point. Second,
all right,
go ahead.
Fair enough. I'm going to get the panel in here in a minute, and Joe as well, who's more of an expert than I am. But I keep coming back to when the F-117 fighter crashed in the desert out west in the early 1980s. And there was a secret program to go recover this crashed UFO. It was an American program. It was DARPA. And what I'm wondering is that are we positive or even sure that a lot of this can't be explained, and these videos can't be explained by black projects within the United States government, that frankly the U.S. government doesn't want to acknowledge that we have these capabilities? And you've got people who are putting their own egos far ahead of American interests by calling attention to it and demanding investigations into things that they may have an idea about but haven't been read into.
Yeah, it's a good question. I want to separate two kind of critical issues here, Leland. And one is Mr. Grush is alleging not what we're seeing on screen here. He's alleging that we have actual craft in our possession. So 12 to 15 is the number that has been floated versus these objects that we're seeing on screen. So I'll address the objects that have been seen recently, and hopefully I can address your point. First of all, the individuals that run the government's UFO program have testified to Congress that they have a very robust process in place to deconflict and identify potential secret U.S. aircraft, so that they're not basically chasing their own tail. And second of all, when our military aviators inadvertently encounter secret U.S. technology, they are required to sign non-disclosure agreements after they see these objects. And to the best of my knowledge, and I've spoken with these pilots, I've written about it, and they have, in these cases, these particular cases that we've seen very anomalous activity, they have not been required to sign any NDAs. They've not been read out or read in or debriefed about any of these encounters. So
thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.